From the Downtown Tyler Visitor Center, this is Roses and Wheats. Good morning from downtown Tyler. This is Julie Goodgame.
And I'm Adriana Rodriguez.
And we're here today to talk about curbside recycling and the state of recycling in Tyler, Texas right now, because we've had some things go on in the last year and, and that's affecting our community's recycling habits. I've got with me today our Director of Solid Waste, Leroy Sparrow. Hi, Leroy.
Hello, Julie and Adriana.
Morning.
It's good to be here.
It is. It's a bright, beautiful morning. It's very bright in this room. And Leroy is here, and he is going to give us the state of recycling in Tyler right now and some of the topics to think about. So, Leroy, tell us, though, about your...
No, you didn't introduce Casey.
I thought we were doing...
No, because we're recording it. Craig said.
Oh, it's weird.
Yeah, because it's on camera, and they're both just sitting there. We probably could just introduce
Okay.
both.
Am I good to introduce Casey? Like, can we cut?
Yeah.
Okay. And we also have a very special person in the house with us today, and that is Casey. Casey is our Keep Tyler Beautiful coordinator. Casey, tell us about yourself.
Hi, I am the Keep Tyler Beautiful coordinator. I recently took over about right before summer, and it's been very exciting and lots of fun things, lots to learn.
I like the use of the term takeover. I feel like it's
Powerful.
I feel it is. I like that powerful energy.
Listen, I
Early
was
this
told
morning.
it's yours, take it, and so that's what I'm striving for.
Leroy, what about you? How long have you been with the city?
15 years.
Wow. That's amazing. Congratulations.
You're making it, buddy.
So let's talk about recycling and everything that's been going on. First, can you tell us a little bit about the city's recycling program and how it has evolved?
So, City of Tyler, we do a curbside subscription, meaning it's not for everyone unless they subscribe for it. It's about $5.96 a month. It's every 2 weeks. And for efficiency, we only run one driver truck. So that means there's no helper. The driver just dumps cans only. Anything outside the cart is not collected. Mm-hmm. Program's been pretty good. We've got about 15% of the Tyler market that subscribe. So Rivers has given us good feedback. Usually the product is very clean, is not contaminated, which is a big plus.
What about the recycling center? When did that open and what's the difference?
So the Recycle Center, I would say at least 15 to 20 years. Ever since I've been there, it's been open. Mm-hmm. And residents and non-residents love the Recycle Center. It's open to both. So pretty much you can bring your items. They're free to bring. As far as the recycle items, cardboard, paper, plastic, all of those items are free to bring. And we've kind of made it a little bit of a convenience center also. If people want to bring mattresses or sofas, they want to bring furniture, they can come and pay a fee and drop those items off also.
Cool. And I'll say, we are big fans of the recycling center in my house. We have like a weekly kind of tradition where on Saturday mornings we'll get up and we'll bring all of our glass bottles down because we drink way too much Topo Chico. And, it gets us out of the house, and then there's usually some stuff going on in downtown Tyler, farmers markets, that sort of thing that we'll take part in, and then go have breakfast somewhere. So it's become a really nice tradition for us. And this was we still did the cart set out, but, we like to bring our bottles down just because they accumulate so fast.
Absolutely. And that's a good point to let people know that glass is not in the curbside program.
That's right.
Yeah.
Please don't put your glass in there. It creates a hazard. And that kind of leads into my next question. What are some of the common misconceptions about, recycling?
So I'll tell you one of the ones I hear all the time. Why recycle? It's going to the landfill.
Yeah, I see that too.
We got that comment recently, actually,
Yes.
on Facebook. Yeah.
That's huge. So for those individuals that make that comment, the only time recycled products ever go to the landfill is if the MRF is closed, there's some type of issue like we're currently going through, or if there's a lot of contamination, even when it's at the MRF. And what would be contamination? So say someone changes their own oil and they want to recycle their oil container, but all of the oil is not out. So when that item is packed and baled, that oil will get all over the product and hence it becomes contaminated.
What's the MRF?
So a MRF is a material recovery facility, and usually what they do, like Rivers, they sort the recycled materials because curbside, the truck picks it up, the items are all mixed together, they go into the truck so they're packed together. So a MRF is the facility where those items are dropped and sorted, because the different manufacturers that the product go to, they may only want paper or cardboard or plastic. So MRF is very important for curbside because that's how the material gets separated.
Okay, very good. See, I'm learning so much already.
What are some everyday items that people think are recyclable, but they're actually not?
Everyday items. So, and maybe it's a little bit confusing because of the convenience, but a lot of people, they'll bring us their bulky items. They'll bring the mattress, they'll bring the sofas, they'll bring those items to us. And of course, we let them know they're not recycled materials. Those, we're really taking them as a convenience. So those are trash. They're going to the landfill. But that's really it. Most of the other items that they bring.
What about like computer monitors or old tech?
So great question. So we have a vendor. I won't say they're they're not super local, but they're in Jacksonville. STS. They love the recycled computers. Now monitors are not. They do not accept the monitors, but all of the computers, laptops, your printers, they love that. They'll break that down and get the valuable materials out of those items, and it's STS right in Jacksonville.
Okay.
That's great.
So basically y'all have you have a system where you know who wants what from what we're getting or what
Absolutely.
we're recycling, and you're making sure that is actually reused. What about, and I know we occasionally will do like paint collection and things like that. So paint, I mean, obviously not recyclable, but like what when y'all do the paint collections, what happens with that?
So that's a great question. So Paint Recycle Day, we do it every 2 years.
Okay.
And we really partner with Casey and Keep Tyler Beautiful. And to recycle the paint is very expensive. We actually have a company come out of Dallas.
Okay, that makes sense.
Usually paint is not recycled otherwise. Usually the landfill just likes us to dry it out. And that's so that when that truck's packing it, it doesn't bust and paint go everywhere. So the landfill actually does take the paint. We bring a lot of paint to the landfill, but it's usually dried out with cat litter or oil dry before we dispose of it.
Okay, gotcha. And then, but on those times where we do the calls for it, what happens with that paint?
Absolutely. So the vendor actually loads that paint up and they haul it back to the facility in Dallas where it actually is recycled.
Okay. So I always have my DIY projects, and I will get those like tester paints, where you pay like $3 and then you get way too much and you've got to figure out. So I'm, I store it until I see that we're recycling paint, and then I'm like, I'm taking all my paint.
Absolutely. And it's actually recycled at those events. Yeah.
So, Leroy, I know there's a difference between curbside and the recycling center and the types of materials you can accept. So, on curbside, you can put in all the plastics, correct?
That is correct.
And then at the recycling center, which ones are only acceptable and why is the difference?
So at the recycle center, we only take 1 and 2. And the big difference when we're talking to our vendors is 3 through 7 is just not as popular. So there's a lot of the manufacturers, the vendors that use it, they don't use 3 through 7 as much. And what we found is 3 through 7 has been unstable. So a lot of times we would have it and the vendor, we don't need it. And then we're sitting on it. So 1 and 2, we never have that issue. They're very popular. So they're always accepted and there's a process for those that is very consistent.
But then curbside, you can get everything because that goes to Rivers and they decide what to do with it, right?
Absolutely. So in the curbside, Rivers take it, and a lot of it too is contracting. So even in the contract, if they put it in there that they're going to take it, a lot of times they take it and they'll have to sit on it until they have a vendor that's ready for it. So yeah, they're have a little bit more space and a little bit more set up to be able to deal with all of the other plastics that's hard to move.
You know, I've been so surprised because I used to work for an organization and they ran like a thrift store, and which people will treat thrift stores like recycling centers. You know, they'll take things that both can be resold and also they'll just, take trash. But I was surprised at how much the life cycle of like the clothes that we would receive, and then after they would go through the store, like the bundling and packing, and then those were then resold. It's the secondhand, the recycled, that whole industry is pretty large and impressive. Like if you, I would, listeners, go do a deep dive into this because it's really fascinating. I didn't realize what the market was, but it makes sense. And from a sustainability standpoint, it makes a lot of sense. So
Absolutely. And you think about the benefits. Benefits is it keeps it out of the landfill. It helps the environment, protects the wildlife. It creates jobs.
yes.
I mean, there's so many benefits to reusing that.
And now that we're, becoming more aware as a society about certain materials and recyclable goods like PFAS, that are in plastics, and BPAs that are in plastics, you want to keep those things out of your landfill because you don't want that leaching into your environment. And that's how you get high concentrations of these, what they call forever chemicals into water sources and into land, that's what it's coming from. So whenever possible, be thinking about the benefits of recycling go beyond you and your household. They really are about sustainability for generations because you really don't want huge landfills full of that.
Absolutely.
And talking about kind of going back to where do the items go, I know you have everything at the recycling center. Y'all sell to specific companies to reuse and recycle. Tell us a little bit about where do they go and what do they do with those things?
Yeah, so the glass is going to Midlothian. Strategic Materials is the firm there. They've been recycling the glass for years, so that's where our glass goes. We haul it. We probably make one load a month to Midlothian, and plastics was going to our local facility in Kilgore Rivers. But of course, with the fire, we've been pretty much taking those to FCC in Dallas. So we're making about 3 trips a month to Dallas to bring our plastics. Metal, local. We've got at least 2 to 3 local metal recyclers. Tyler Iron Metal has been the biggest that we've used the most. And cardboard and paper, we've used a company called Evergreen Fiber. We've used them for probably 10 plus years. And they're more like a broker, but they come, they pay us, they pick it up, and they're going to ship it to whichever company needs it at that time.
That's awesome. I love that these things are actually going places that are going to be reused, and it breaks that misconception that it will end up in the landfill anyways.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And those vendors, I looked at it, I think we made about $75,000 last fiscal year. So that's the revenue that these vendors are, we're making that revenue to help support the center and get those products reused.
I love that. And you mentioned, let's get into the fire. So what happened to curbside and the Kilgore facility, and how did that affect us?
Absolutely. So our curbside program is currently paused, and it's due to the fire that happened. It was a total loss. Pretty much it happened at the end of the day. We think whether it was something hot or some chemical reaction of something that was in the load of one of the trucks that dumped at the end of the day. They dumped, everybody left, and really the fire was found when they saw the smoke and somebody called, and by the time fire got there, the damage was just pretty much complete total loss. So being a total loss, Rivers was the only regional facility, MRF, in the area. So pretty much taking care of Longview, Tyler, Henderson, everything in the East Texas region. So our next closest facility would be Dallas. And of course, that's 200 miles, 100 miles each way, and having to run 2 to 3 trucks every couple of days, it wouldn't be sustainable or feasible to incur that cost to take the materials to FCC in Dallas.
So we're basically waiting on Rivers to rebuild. Do you know anything about that, how that process is going?
So, good question. The last update we've got from Rivers, they found a design firm that they really like, and they told them from the date that they get approval, probably looking at 5 to 6 months.
That's pretty quick.
Yeah, it was pretty
It's to
quick.
stand up a building, yeah.
But they haven't given approval yet.
Right.
So, that's kind of the next thing. What else are they needing and looking at before they give that approval? But that's why, based on that information, I would think second quarter of 2025, sometimes between May and June, I would think that we probably have our facility back up and accepting materials.
I hope so. And talking about the curbside being paused, people have asked us, what do they do with their carts, and are they still paying for that service? You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So when we pause the service, we also pause the charge. There should be no recycle charges on the bill. So if ever you look at your bill and see any charges for recycle, please contact the solid waste office. All charges were stopped. We did ask residents to hold on to the cart because we do plan on our program starting again mid-year in 2025. So it just saves time and money if they're going to resubscribe for them to just hang on to the cart. And we would pretty much just let them know, send out schedules that we're restarting service, and that's why we've asked them to hang on to them.
Okay. Leroy, is there anything we haven't asked you about recycling that you're like, I wish people knew about this? I need to tell them.
That's the biggest thing. Some people are like, well, what do we do? Definitely, like Julie said, she makes a day out of coming to the recycle center on Saturday before she goes downtown. So the recycle center is there. It's fully operational. Those materials are not going to the landfill. So you can definitely, it's a little extra work. But if you want to bring those materials to the recycle center, it's there. You can keep recycling.
And it's free?
And it's free.
And what are the hours of operation for the center?
So Monday through Friday from 8 to 4. And then on Saturdays, we've got the 8 to noon.
Great. And I wanted to ask you just really quick, what is the weirdest thing you've seen somebody
that's a
trying
good
to
question.
recycle?
So that I've seen automobiles and boats.
The whole
But
thing?
wait. Someone's trying to recycle that? Like a boat or an automobile? Like not sell it or not strip it because like it's got this of metal. Like
Absolutely. So, and we tell people, so usually we'll refer them to our metal scrap yards because we try not to get into the paperwork, but you got to have your clean title. And there are people that each year they'll recycle an automobile.
or an old boat. Like, are we talking? What kind of boat are we talking? Like, is it like the rusted out bottom fishing boat, or are we talking a nice boat? Like,
Yeah. No, it's normally the rusted out.
Okay.
They've gotten all their use out of it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we also need to talk about really quick a really good story that happened a few years ago. Because Leroy, he is the man of the hour. He is a superhero. Can you tell us about somebody lost their wedding ring in their trash or their recycling, and what happened?
So you wouldn't believe, but from time to time we do get calls that we've lost something valuable. And from time to time, this instance, the truck had just started. It was early in the morning, so there wasn't a lot of trash on the truck. So we were able to take it to one of our facilities and dump the trash off and find it. But usually that's the needle in the haystack.
Yeah.
Usually if it goes in there, it's hard to find because it's mixed trash.
what was it that y'all pulled out again?
An engagement ring.
Someone had lost like they had just slipped off. That is so fortunate that
That is
you guys were
fortunate.
able to find.
And I
that.
know like you yourself were in the trash looking for it and you found it.
Yeah, but most times if it's a lot of trash, we normally refer them to the landfill.
Yeah.
So they'll find the spot, and some people lose valuable things that they willing to go dig and try to find.
So she got it back.
That one was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Gosh, so this just leads to all these questions in my mind because I'm like, do people ever try to like comb the landfills for valuables? Like I know there's metal like people will go with those metal detectors and try and find things, and so I just didn't know if people were ever trying to get into the landfill for anything like that.
Yeah, so the landfill one, so it's dangerous.
Yeah.
And the landfill one, like usually if somebody, I have to try to find it, they'll have them dump that load in a certain spot.
Okay.
To where they're away from the other vehicles, and they put them in all the safety, the vest, the hard hat, and they'll give them some time to kind of look through it.
That's dedication.
It is. That's a big kindness, and I guess it's true what they say: one man's trash is another man's treasure.
That's true.
So, and that is the point of recycling. So, thank you, Leroy, so much for this deep. I love all of the puns. This deep dive into recycling. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the other side, the Keep Tyler Beautiful piece of things when we return here on Roses and Weeds. But first, some advertisements.
The historic Liberty Theater has been entertaining audiences for generations. Inside these walls, entertainment leaps from the screen to the stage. Music performances stir your soul and inspire you to get out of your seat. Come lose yourself in the magic of Liberty Hall.
Welcome back to Roses and Weeds. And the first segment we talked all about recycling, and Leroy told us all these amazing stories. Now let's talk about what people can do to offset this pause in recycling, and if they really want to keep helping the environment. And for that, we have Casey, and she's going to tell us all about Keep Tyler Beautiful. So first of all, what is Keep Tyler Beautiful? What is the mission?
So our mission with Keep Tyler Beautiful is beautification, obviously, and then litter abatement and recycling. So those are our main focuses. You'll see that reflect in our programs and events that we have throughout the year.
What kind of events and programs do y'all host?
So I'll talk about our main ones, especially the one coming up, Tyler Recycles Day, which will be at the Downtown Recycling Center. That one is our next event, and that is on November 9th. That is, you just bring all your recyclables, and we have our Youth Advisory Committee, our Keep Tyler Beautiful board will be there to assist. And you can just pull up, and we'll have plenty of people there to help, and we'll sort your items and put them in the proper places. If you still want to get out and help, then you're welcome to, but if not, you can just drive up and we'll take care of it for you. So that's our next big event that I'm looking forward to.
And another good one is we're going to take all items free except for tires.
Except for tires, that's right. Typically, there's a fee on microwaves, refrigerators, things like that have the free
Monitors.
Yes.
Yes.
But that will be waived this time. However, tires are still, there will be a fee, but you can still bring them.
But it's only $5 per tire. That's really cheap.
Yeah. So just, and you can find more information on the website. There's a lot of information there. If you, just on a regular basis, what you want to bring to the Downtown Recycling Center.
And what about the other services that y'all have that same day, the shredding and the batteries?
So we'll also have Arklatex shredding. So that is bulk document shredding. I've had several calls about that, so I know people really look forward to that part of the event. We also have Interstate Battery that will be recycling batteries. So
Nice.
yes.
And I know we're talking a lot about recycling, but I think we would be remiss on the Keep Tyler Beautiful side if we also didn't mention things like what people can do, and that's also composting. Like we're in fall season, leaves will eventually, technically it's fall, but we all know that there's been a drought and it's still hot outside, so all the leaves haven't fallen yet, but they will. And when they do, the thing that I see all the time is people bagging leaves. And I'm like, why? Because you can just mulch those into your grass and then you get beautiful grass. Or you can, and then of course, like, we really enjoy composting. Like, we save all of our, the rinds off of things, eggshells. We'll even go get our tea bags and the little coffee pods, and we will empty out the grounds. And we have like composters kind of set up around our yard, and we have a beautiful yard. So I really want to plug that whole you can totally compost, and it really, not only does it cut down on what you're putting in the garbage and what you're sending to the landfill, but it's so good for your yard and for the environment, and you're not having to put leaves in plastic. There's no sense in that. So I'm a walking ad for composting.
I love it. That's wonderful.
And if you ever want to do like a video about how to compost, like, I'm so down for that, because I'll take you through our process.
We also have our Big Belly compost machines around the square.
Yes, that's a great point.
I didn't know those were compostable. Oh,
There's
interesting.
6 machines around
Yeah,
downtown area.
I love that. I didn't know that. And what do you tell people that they say they don't have time for recycling?
Or
So
composting.
Either one.
I'll start by recycling. Julie, you can take over composting. Great tips and tricks there. So with recycling, I mean, just like you said, Julie, you've made it kind of like a tradition where on Saturday, that's part of what you do. You go find something downtown or in the area, and since you're going to be down here, you go ahead and bring your stuff. So it's easy to just kind of create a habit out of it. I mean, personally myself, I did. I just recently moved here in April. And so with moving means lots of boxes, maybe a few Amazon purchases or things for the new place. So I had a truckload, or I'll say carloads. Carloads of cardboard. So it just kind of started with that. I would bring it on my way into work, or during my lunch, I would drive by the downtown recycling center, drop off my cardboard, and go about my business. And it's become such a habit now. I see like our glass and our plastic going in our trash can, and I'm thinking, okay, if I'm already going, why don't we have a bin for this? And so I got us a bin, and so now we're going to start there. So it's one of those things where you create a habit just by small steps, and your little baby steps are going to be big, giant leaps after a certain point.
And it, again, like, I think for me, like, it feels really satisfying or good to not fill up that trash container with a bunch of things that can go and be used other places, whether it's organic material that can, again, be composted and used to fertilize and, turn into soil, or it's mulching my leaves and not adding, plastic bags full of leaves to the landfill, or it's recycling my goods and knowing that, if I can't, because I'll do the full gamut of the thrift stores and the resale and, try to give everything like a second life. But it's that the sustainability of it feels good. I guess after a while, if you really think about it, and we are such a consumer-driven culture, consume all of the time. But that's not in and of itself a sustainable practice. So thinking about ways that you can cut down on that consumption, and then also have a system where things are reused. That's, I think when, like, it just feels good after a while. I promise it's addicting.
It really is very rewarding, and it spreads. Like in my household, it started with just me doing it, and now everyone knows. Oh, we got cardboard. Just stack it up. We'll put it in the car. Casey will take it. And now I'm going to create that habit with glass and plastic. We're going to start there and then see where it goes, because we do have a lot of that. And so if I can keep that out of our trash can, these little habits are just stacking up, and it's causing everyone in my household to do that too.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, especially if you have young children, it's just a great thing to teach them, because then you're just continuing the cycle, and it's just a great thing to keep passing on.
Yeah.
And I do have to say, at the recycling center, it's very quick. You literally drive by, take your stuff out, and then go on your way. It takes you maybe 5 minutes.
It's very, very convenient. The way you have it set up at the recycle center is it's perfect.
And everyone is so nice there. Like,
Yes.
so nice. I've always had really pleasant experiences, and both dropping stuff off, and then sometimes I'll go in and like say hi to people because I'm like, these are my coworkers, but I don't see them all the time, and they may not know I work with them. So, and sometimes they're like, "Lady, you can't be in this area," and I'm like, and then we argue about it, but it's all good. So yeah, you have a great team.
Well, and to that note, we also, through Keep Tyler Beautiful, we offer tours. So we just had our first field trip out there with a group of first graders from Grace Community, and it was great to see the kids, but also the parents that came. They learned so much. They asked so many questions, and there was, due to a lot of misinformation with the Rivers fire, we were able to clear a lot of that up. And so, having that group of adults and students where they learned so much, they found out there's so many things you can bring to the downtown recycling center. And so it was just very rewarding for that. But yes, we offer tours through Keep Tyler Beautiful. So,
And talking about those tours, what other programs and events do y'all host throughout the year?
other events that we do, I want to talk about our Great Tyler Cleanup, which it coincides with Keep America Beautiful's Great America Cleanup. But starting this year and going through 2026, we're doing the Greatest American Cleanup, which is a way to celebrate America's birthday. It's going to be our 250th birthday.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so they started a campaign this year that is a push to, pick up the most trash that we can possibly get. So during the Great Tyler Cleanup, we really want to get everyone involved, as many people as we can, to clear all the trash in Tyler and participate in the Greatest American Cleanup.
That is very, very cool.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
We're going to be joining communities across the country on this day doing this.
Yes, and it is. We already participate with Great Tyler Cleanup, but this one is going to be a bigger scale. So I'd like to, more outreach and get people that don't typically get involved with it to, just kind of spread that and get more people involved.
Okay, say again, when is this?
This will be in April. So
listeners, you only have a few months to prepare yourselves. And how will people get signed up to take part with it?
We will launch a sign up for volunteers here pretty soon. We already have, part of our program is Adopt a Spot, which groups, organizations, families adopt a spot in Tyler, whether it be a road or a park. They are responsible for cleaning that area quarterly. So every quarter they get together with their group, come get supplies from Keep Tyler Beautiful, and go clean up the area and pick up all kinds of recycling, and then they report it. So those organizations will take part, but we want to reach more people, get more volunteers out there to clean up the other areas in our city.
I'm very excited about this. I'm excited about bigger. Yes, listener, we will be pushing this information out as soon as we get it. Sign up, because this is going to go on across the country. And what a great way to celebrate our birthday.
Yeah, I know the last one I went to, we were at the Rose Roman area, and somebody pulled out, it looked like a trailer tire, like one of those huge tires from the creek, and the pile of stuff and trash was huge. They got a bunch of tires, shopping carts, random stuff.
You guys don't throw stuff in the creek.
Yeah. But it was very satisfying to see all of that out of the creek, out of the park, and this big pile of trash. So we hope that we get even bigger pile of trash.
Yes, and there also is a part of the reporting where you can report the strangest thing you find.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's very interesting to read through that. It's typically, the tires and just things people are dumping, but there's been a couple of stories that are very interesting. So,
any we can share?
One of our students that participate in our youth advisory committee, which I'll speak on that in a moment, but shared a story about on their cleanup. I want to say it was near a campus, but they found a suitcase.
Oh.
And so, of course, everyone's true crime mind went, don't touch it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So it ended up just being a suitcase of trash, thankfully, but it was still very like an exciting moment, especially for our
We all
students.
know how this goes on television. Yeah, that
exactly.
was the perfect setup to CSI or something like
So
that.
they did everything that they were supposed to do. They called the proper authorities, got it checked out, and it turned out to be nothing, thankfully. But yes, that was something interesting to come across while you're out there just picking up litter.
Love that. And, we've talked about this maybe in past podcast episodes, but people also don't know about the micro litter and how that adds up, like the cigarette butts and the little pieces of.
Sadly, cigarettes are the number one littered item. It's very easy to just dispose of it out the window and not think about it, which is very sad. But I mean, especially right now during a little bit of a drought, we're still warm. Please don't throw your cigarette butts out.
That could actually, in the same way that dumping in a creek can cause unintended flooding, which could cause damage then to, multiple businesses, homes. Setting a fire, I mean, with these dry conditions, that could also be, disastrous. Just to burn through, going through a park. And, I have a little bit of the OCD. So I've done some park cleaning events before, and I focused on just getting the cigarette butts. And you can spend all day in one little area just picking up. And that while satisfying for my OCD, that's really, it says something about just the detrimental impact of these filters and these things that don't, they're this kind of trash. Like, it's very, very bad. So please do not throw your cigarette into parks or really just into the environment in general. Please dispose of those correctly because they cause a huge problem.
And I'll something that has stuck with me clearly since I was a kid. Back in the 90s, Keep America Beautiful had a campaign called, they said, give a hoot, don't pollute, keep America beautiful. Yeah, think about that whenever you're trying to throw your cigarette out your window. Keep America beautiful, don't pollute.
I'm trying to think, do carts still come with ashtrays?
I don't think so.
Because, I was like, just put it in because I'm just thinking of my grandmother's caddy, and she had, that thing was packed. So.
No, but we do have, Keep Tyler Beautiful does have their little cup holder. They go on your cup holder, but they're little disposable, for your cigarette butts. So you can put them in your cup holder. So there are devices out there to keep you from throwing it out the window.
Check it out on Amazon. I'm sure they sell it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know with the holidays coming up now, tell us a little bit about the Christmas recycling program, Christmas tree recycling program.
Yes. Beginning the day after Christmas, we will be accepting your unflocked Christmas trees for recycling. And it'll run until mid-January. I want to say January 15th.
And what do y'all do with the trees?
With those trees that they're dropping at Golden Road or Fun Forest Park, local fishermen, the Texas Wildlife Commission, they'll pick them up and take them to our local lakes, and it becomes a habitat for the fish. So, yeah, been known to throw a line, I don't catch much, so.
But I like it. Again, you make a day of it.
They put the trees in the water and then creates habitat and more fish to fish, and then the circle of life. I love that. And you said the day after Christmas until January, and that's unflocked, undecorated, real trees, no plastic trees, please.
Exactly.
Yes. And then finally, tell us a little bit about your youth advisory committee.
So our youth advisory committee is made up of students in the area, high school and college students. They participate in many education and outreach programs. They are right now leading our recycling campaign. So we do have a recycling trailer that we utilize. We utilized it for School is Cool event. We used strictly for cardboard, and we were able to save so much cardboard from going to landfill because we had that trailer there on site. So packing the backpacks, of course, everything comes in cardboard boxes. Then vendors brought things in cardboard boxes, and we just had that there for them to dispose of. So it was really great keeping that out of the dumpsters and having it go to the proper place. We also have another local company utilizing it now at their business for plastic bottles because they go through water bottles like crazy. And so he is now a board member, decided, I'm going to utilize this here And so it kind of sparked an idea with us and the Youth Advisory Committee to begin a Recycle on Wheels program where we can take those to campuses and have it be part of an educational program with the school. And so we're working on building that and reaching different people that would utilize this and be open to bringing that out for educational purposes.
That's really cool. If
Yeah.
somebody wants to join, how do they go about that?
So you can find the application on the website. You can always reach Keep Tyler Beautiful, either keeptylerbeautiful.com or ktyb@tylertexas.com, and I can send more information, or you find it on the website. But applications are now open so that we can really we're a little behind on our applications, but that's okay. We're getting started and getting it going, and the group is excited, and so I would love to have more people in there, more input and ideas.
I love that. Start them young.
Yes.
Well, that is everything that we have today. Thank y'all so much for being with us and for talking about this very important topic. Again, y'all do amazing things, and we're very grateful to have y'all in our community. So hopefully you have inspired some people through this podcast. If you have other questions and you have other topics that you would like to see us talk about, you can email us at publicrelations@tylertexas.com, or you can message us on any of our social media pages, post a comment with hashtag Roses and Weeds, and we will find it, and maybe we'll make a whole episode about it. So until next time, I'm Adriana Rodriguez,
And I'm Julie Goodgame.
and this is Roses and Weeds.
Remember to compost.